The case study, an overview. The case study is an in-depth analysis of a bounded system or a phenomenon. It's a qualitative research method. This is where the subject of the research is studied within its own context. Case studies are real. They offer a chance to get a snapshot of real life, a rich and thick picture of a phenomenon. Yin points out that case studies are the preferred strategy when why and how questions are posed. They offer a qualitative approach to research using words as data. You, the researcher, is the primary instrument for data collection and analysis. Words rather than numbers are used to convey what the researcher has learned about a bounded system or a phenomenon. The case study will include these sections. First, a title page. The title page is an APA style, just like the rest of your document. It includes a running heading, the assignment title, members of your group, and the university. Next is the abstract. An abstract is a self-contained, short, and powerful statement that describes the larger work. It will include your research question, background, and a conclusion about the research. It's 150 to 250 words, and it should entice the reader to want to read the rest of your document. It's original, it's not a copy and paste from your whole work, and it does describe your research paper. Try to answer these questions in your abstract. Why is your research important? Why should the reader read your paper? Include your research question. Include your methodology. How was your data collected? What changes should be implemented as a result of your research? And how does your research add to the body of knowledge? Next is your introduction. Introduce your topic and why is it important. Provide some background. What research did you conduct? What is your rationale? Why is it important? Your research question is the last sentence of your introduction. Your research question is a how or why question. It's targeted to a limited number of events or conditions and their relationship. Conduct a literature review to help you come up with your research question. Your topic must be related to your course. It must be narrow in scope. And strive for one research question. And you will need data for your research question. Whether you choose to interview people, review documents, review records, websites, do an observation, choose a narrow research question that will help you find some source of data to support your question. Keep your question very narrow and use a small sample population. Invest the time in early on your research question, and it will pay off throughout your research. Next is a literature review. You may have completed an individual annotated bibliography and/or a group annotated bibliography and other research. Use these. Complete more research to find sources on your topic. Your literature review is a narrative within your research paper that discusses, contrasts, explains the literature that you found. Write a narrative that discusses what are the primary findings from your literature review. What gaps exist in the literature that have not been solved by prior research? How has your study addressed the gaps that you found in literature? Be sure your literature review is thoroughly supported by references, but be concise. Then your research method. Your research method was decided for you, the case study. So discuss and support the case study methodology. Discuss and support your particular research. What was your sample population? What data collection tools did you use? If you used an interview, discuss and support an interview. If you used archival records, discuss and support archival records. What was your timeline? What limitations did you have? Address bias, reliability, validity. Support this by references, but again, be thorough but concise. Next is results. So you talked about how you were going to collect your data. So now talk about the data that you collected. Give an overview of the data results here. If you want to provide the detail of the data you collected, put that into an appendix. But just give a broad discussion of the data here in the results section. Be factual here. Here is the data. You will interpret the data in the next section. Discussion. This is a discussion of what the data means. This is where you elaborate on your findings, explain what you found, and interpret what you found. Go beyond factual at this point in an educated interpretation of the data that you found. Explain to the reader what your data means. And then our final section is the conclusion. And your conclusion is not just a summary. You should talk about how does your research fit into the overall body of research into this topic. Why was your research important? How did you make a contribution into the topic, into the body of research? Build upon your discussion section. Where could other researchers go from here? How could they take your research? What is the next avenue that other researchers could take? What would the next research study look like? So as you develop your case study and your case study document, address the sections of a title page abstract, introduction, literature review, research methods, results, discussion, and conclusion.